So, hey, y'all, hey, and welcome to another session of Meditations with Marigny. And this morning, you guys know I said I was going to start doing like a Saturday session. Well, it's not Saturday, but it is Sunday. And if you live in the metro, well, I guess really this weather blast has gone all over. But in Atlanta, we are iced in. Many people say Atlanta people, Georgia people don't know how to drive in the snow. But being one that is from here, typically we don't get snow like what you get up north. It's a different kind of snow. In Georgia, it turns to ice. And so it's not really feasible to be out there driving, no matter how good you are. So anyway, I'm in the house and I am preparing breakfast for my family. And I thought that I would come on and I want to talk about I was going to talk about one thing, but when I got down here, the kitchen was dirty. So I think I want to talk about teamwork. And as we know that my channel is about um, marriage, love, relationship, family, I want to talk about teamwork because my family knows that I love to cook. And when I say I love to cook, I don't think that I am the best cook. Like I don't brag on being able to cook really, really well. But what I can say is I like to serve my family. And with them knowing that, one of the points of frustration for me is I don't like to come into a dirty kitchen. And this morning, I had to do just that. And they know that I don't like to cook in a dirty kitchen, which means that I had to clean the kitchen before I could even start cooking, before I could even think about getting my mind wrapped around doing breakfast. I had to clean the kitchen so that it would be suitable for me to cook in. I'm real picky about certain things. I'm very flexible on some things, but then there are other things that I know that that's just going to be a pet peeve for me. And it's okay, hey, sometimes every now and then I go to bed and I might leave the kitchen dirty because that was just the time that I didn't feel like cleaning it. But just on a regular, I just feel like in family and in relationships, if we are going to be a team, and when I say a team, I'm not just talking about just husband and wife, even though I am speaking of that. I'm talking about just family, period. If it is a team effort, everyone should be contributing to that team. If one person is the person that does most of the cooking in the household, then everybody else should take the time to make sure they clean the kitchen. If one person is the one that cuts the yard all the time, then the other person should possibly see if they could serve them a meal or make sure that they have a meal that's purchased. Or go outside and help pick up the sticks before the person that normally cuts the grass does that part. Teamwork, with me being, what made me think about it is I'm a former athlete, right? So I played sports most of my life, pretty much like my boys. And when you are on a team, it's one thing when you have an individual sport. So, for instance, I did the high jump. I ran the 1400. So the 1 mile I ran the 2 mile. I was a distant runner, and I ran cross country. So in those events, you have individual sports, and then you have the collective team sport. So when you're running cross country, you got an individual that is going to win, and then that team that has the most people that come in first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth is going to be the team that has the most points. And I'm saying that because collectively, I remember that we were not necessarily the best athletes. We were not necessarily the most talented athletes. We were not necessarily the top athletes. But because we worked so well together as a team, we always kind of came out on top. And the interesting part was the group of young ladies that my coach got a hold to is we were not even, some of them had never ran track. Like I had never ran track until I got to high school. I had always played basketball. I had always played softball, but I had never run track. And that man took me, he watched me play basketball my 8th grade year. And then he started asking me to come out and run track for him. And in me running track for him, I ended up becoming one of the best track stars in the city. Went on to win a couple of regional events, and then went on and competed in the state. And so, what I'm saying is, if you have a partner or you have a teammate, you got a parent. Maybe this video today is for parents who have children at home, and maybe you need to let your kids see this video. If you have a parent that is, especially a single parent in a household, they are the main one that is providing for you. Don't let your parent have to come home after they've gone to the grocery store and gotten the food and bring it home to you, and then they have to come in and clean the kitchen. If you are a spouse who is not working right now and your spouse is carrying the load of the household for this moment and they are going to work every day, let them at least come home to a hot meal, run them a bath. This is man or woman. Run them a bath or prepare their shower or get their favorite drink and have it prepared for them when they get home. Give them 30 minutes and say, hey, you go to the bedroom and just decompress for a moment before you have to come out and deal with all the things that are going on here in the house. Teamwork is one of the things that I think most people need to learn more about. And teamwork is one of those things that I think that many people miss out on right now because people are so concerned with their individual goals, their individual expectations, and their individual desires. It can make and or break a relationship based on somebody having to say the same thing over and over and over again. Like, I really wanted to cook for my family this morning because I knew that we were going to be iced in. I knew I didn't have church. We're going to do church online. And so in my mind, I said, well, I'll get up and cook breakfast for them. That'll give us a time. We can watch service together at 10. And maybe we can play Uno or pull out the Sorry game or pull out Connect Four or something and just have some bonding time. But my point to you is, don't let one person in the household be doing more work than the other. There are always times that we might have to give a little bit more. So, I hear people talking about the 50-50 relationships. There are times when people are going to be in a position where it's 50-50, and then there are going to be times where they're going to be in relationships that one person is going to be giving more than the other. But don't let it be a relationship where over and over and over one person is consistently giving more than the others. Because what it will eventually do is, whereas someone does not mind sacrificing for others, they will eventually wear down the sacrificial desires and offerings from that other person. And you guys know I come from a spiritual perspective. I think about times when Moses was leading the children of Israel, and he was tired when they were in war, and he was tired. And Aaron and his army came and held up Moses' arms. They didn't leave him out there to do it by himself. They didn't leave him out there to be in a position where he did not have proper support. And I'm saying that because oftentimes in a household, it may be one person that is carrying the load for everybody. And especially if it is a married household, or it is, I won't say just married, because a lot of people not marrying now. A lot of people just feel like living together is okay. And that's fine if that's what your belief is. That's just not mine. But at the end of the day, if that person is the main provider for the household, make sure that you figure out a way to make things easier for them and be consistent with it. I think the key factor, because one of the things that we have a conversation about in my house is that, it's like, well, Mom, I did this, or Mom, I did that. But the consistency, if the trash goes out every Wednesday, in my household, we know that the trash comes every Wednesday. I should not have to say on Tuesdays, take the trash out. Because every Wednesday, that's been happening for the past 10 years. Every Wednesday, the trash comes. So we already know that on Tuesday, the trash needs to go out. And so, again, if this is for a parent that might needs to share this with your child, your mother or your father should not have to ask you to take the trash out on Tuesdays, because every Tuesday night, you know that the trash is coming on Wednesday morning. And if you don't put it out, that means that it's not going to get picked up. So, if the parent is already going to work, they're already providing for you. Don't then allow them to have to come home and worry about the other things that are going on within the household. Every little thing makes it a lighter burden for that next person to have to bear. And when you are already the person that is managing the money of the household, you're managing the repairs, you're managing the people that are there, you don't want to have to worry about the little things like cleaning the kitchen and or taking out the trash. And I'm using those specifically because that's a conversation that I'm going to have with my boys again. And then there has to be some consequences. At some point, parents, you got to either take those phones or you got to shut down the opportunities for social events and things of that sort so that your children will know and understand. And in relationships, you have to understand that there has to be a consequence as well. No, you don't deal with it the same way, and you don't deal with your mate the same way that you would deal with your children, but they have to understand that you can't keep doing this and then we keep providing this, because one regulates and supports the other. So again, I want to talk about teamwork. Make sure that you are doing your part for the team, because everybody that is on the team is important to the team, and it is vital to the team being able to be successful. If you like my videos, I'd love for you to click like. I'd love for you to share it with a friend, and I would be honored if you would subscribe. Y'all have a great day. Bye.